You now tuned in to the Gumptown Podcast. I'm your boy Doug B. We ain't got nothing to talk about, but we got something to talk about. Let's go. Good people, good people, good people. Welcome back to the Gumptown Podcast, episode 142. I'm Doug B. If you tuned in to this podcast, thank you for your time and your attention. I really appreciate you giving it a shot. Today's guest is the founder and owner of Sally T's Cafe and Cupcakes. I'm looking forward to this conversation, and I'm sure we'll all be inspired by her story. Let's chop it up with Angela Killingsworth. Angela, how's it going?
It's going good. How are you?
Glad to hear that. All is well on my end, too. First things first, thank you for taking time out of your schedule to chop it up with me. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Yes, ma'am. Of course, here to talk about Sally T's Cafe and Cupcakes and all the great things you have going on with the business. But before we talk business, let's get to know the woman behind the brand. Born and raised in the Gump. What was your upbringing like in the city?
Um, Only child. So I was raised in two projects, Trenham Court and Riverside. Me and my mother, and of course my father at first, and then they got a divorce. And so just basically, definitely north side Alabama, Montgomery. Again, I was the only child, so I stayed around a lot of people because it was nobody at home with me.
Okay.
I would consider myself very outgoing as a child.
Okay, sounds good. Only child, and it sounds like you did have a great village growing up around you when you was coming up. Is that safe to assume?
Yes, sir. Very good upbringing. Yes, sir.
Okay, awesome stuff. So you grow up in the Gump. What high school did you end up graduating from?
General, baby.
Hey,
Robert.
better know it, Robert E. Lee. Hey, they call it Percy Julian now, but I call it Lee forever.
I mean, I don't know. It's just what I graduated with. So just stuck with that name.
Oh yeah, all good. Same here. No problem. So you graduated high school from Lee.
Now,
So at the high school, did you do any military, college, or you went right to work?
no, well, right out of high school, I had my daughter. I have a daughter. She's the cashier here. I had her like at 2021. So I did some college. I worked at a bank for like 5 or 6 years, and then I like switched over. I started serving. Like that was my first gig, like serving into the food industry. And after that, it was just I was always working around food. Never cooked though, just always working around food. But I was a cook at home, but not in the restaurants. I guess that's the funny part about all of that.
Yeah, no doubt. Sounds good. So you finished up high school, did some college, got right into the worked at a bank, then did some food service. So that actually transitioned perfectly into what you got going on present day. So Sally T's Cafe and Cupcakes. What's the inspiration behind the name?
I'm glad you asked me that because a lot of people think that my name is Sally. But no, it's my grandmother's. My mom, her name is Sally, and my dad, mom, her name was Miss T. So that's how we get Sally T.
Mm, very organic way. How you came up with the name, just paying homage to your grandmothers. I love to hear it.
Because they both were cooks. So yeah, I get it. Well, I would say I got it from them because my mom, she's a nurse. So she did, she cooked at home, but not like I cook. So
Okay.
is that I hear from, well, I take that back from her mother that I hear she was a great cook because I was very young when she passed away, but my dad's mom, I watched her in the kitchen. Like, yeah, I grew up. So
Okay. So
Mrs.
you got you got a chance to sit in the cut and watch your dad's mom, your grandmom cook and whip it up in the kitchen.
Yes. That's
Okay.
why my call Miss T dressing, because that's literally her dressing. Yeah.
Okay, good stuff. Now that's amazing. So you got a chance to get exposed to granny cooking, and you know what? It's so cool just growing up and seeing that and watching granny in the kitchen throwing down, ain't using no measurement, just cooking from the soul. You know what I'm
It's like nothing.
saying? Hey, but see, it's so funny. Well, I'm pretty sure now. you mastered the art of cooking. Me, I still had to use the measuring cups and the measuring spoons. I would be lost without my measuring stuff. Golly.
But you know what? It's good that you do that because in the beginning you want to get it right. Well, at least you want something. You want a product that's eatable.
Right.
So I want to do that. But I don't know. Like I started out like cooking, and I don't know. Like it's really relaxing for me. Like all of that. Like it's not work to me. Seriously. Like what I do back here is not work. It's really what I love to do.
Mm. Good stuff. So you gained this love for cooking and you eventually opened up Salad Teas Cafe and Cupcakes. And I know you launched your business in 2019. And of course, a few months after you launched your business, 2020 rolled around, pandemic popped off. We had to go in the house and stay quarantined and all that good stuff. So I wanted to ask you, Angela, how did you manage to pivot and stay afloat during the pandemic?
COVID really was like the groundbreaking for Sally Teas. It also was like the best thing that could have happened because Sally Teas was a full service restaurant. We had servers, all everything. But when the governor shut down, I had to send everybody home. And by me having the hot bar still there, they could come in and go. That was perfect, in this industry where now like it's really hard to get people to work. So, you know, it worked out really, really good for me. Seriously. So now I do have seating, but it's very limited. And I mean we basically like take out.
Okay, sounds good. Well, that's great that you were able to figure it out and pivot and stay afloat during the pandemic. And that's a great perspective that you had. Like you said, it was the best thing to happen for Salad Teas, groundbreaking. You had the hot bar going. People come in, grab their food, and keep it moving. That's what's up.
Yeah. And that's what people wanted because because COVID was out there, and so people didn't want to be all over each other and this that and this. So again, like I said, that worked out perfect for me. So they could get their food and they could just go. They didn't have to be around. And then we started offering curbside service. We had a lot of people who didn't, a lot of people were scared. They didn't want to get out their car, so we offered that. And yeah, it worked out good. It worked out really good.
Okay, that's great. Y'all made the adjustments, made the pivot, and kept rocking and rolling. That's what it's all about. I mean, especially a year into the business, you could have easily packed up and went home, but you stayed in there, stayed resilient, and figured it out. That's what it's all about.
Yeah. It was hard though, because I mean, when nobody working for real. So I was still getting up going to work every day. So it was becoming like, oh wow, y'all not working. But but I mean, I pushed through, I got through it, and I thank God for it and all of it really.
Yes, ma'am. And everything happens for a reason, and everything happens in God timing, and that's good that you were able to hang in there and not quit and persevere.
Yeah.
Yes,
Really.
ma'am. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. What were you saying?
No, yes, really persevere.
Yes, ma'am. So whenever I have entrepreneurs on the platform like yourself, Angela, I like to talk about three things: the aha moment, action, and audacity. Take us back to your aha moment when you first had the idea to take your love for cooking and turn it into a business that went on to become Sally T's.
So I used to just invite like my family and friends over because, like I told you, I love to cook. So I would just like invite them over to, try, yeah, try this, try that, that was my way of, getting everybody together, like I'll cook and they come. So, and they used to always tell me like, yo, you really can cook. So me and my stepfather was talking one day and I was like, I want to do something different. And I was like, I think I want to open up a restaurant. And he said, you should. And me and my father had been talking about it too. So it just started, we found a location and everything else it was history. Sally T's.
Okay. Hey, that's a great aha moment, a great way to come up with the idea, just cooking for family, and family gave you that encouragement to start the business. So the action portion, it sounds like you didn't take a whole lot of time taking action on the idea. You got right to it.
Yes, sir, I did. I did.
Hey, that's a great way to be. Make a quick decision and figure out the rest when you get there versus sitting around thinking about it. So that's great that you got right after it and Sally T still standing strong 5 years later.
Yeah, and we're getting ready to celebrate our 5th year. And I'm so, so proud of me and my daughter and give homage to God because, like, without him, and because it's been some hard days in Sally T's. Now, don't get me wrong, but, you know, um, it's all worth it. And, the love that I have for cooking and my customers is all worth it.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. So the last portion, audacity. There's one thing to have an idea, an aha moment, and to put action behind the aha moment. But to put it out to the world, to be praised or criticized, that's where the courage, the audacity comes in my opinion. Who or what gave you that audacity to put salad teas out to the world?
Um, my daughter. I would say that because she was getting ready to go to college. And I think this is what you're asking me. I was like, I gotta do something to help her, to support her. And I was at the Renaissance and I was doing everything there. Like literally I had a key card to every department in food and beverage. So to have a key card to do every position that was big. Um, and I just figured if I can do that, if I can work that hard for someone else, I could surely work that hard for myself.
That makes sense. Your daughter gave you that audacity, that courage to go for it. She's about to go to college, and you had a reason to go out there and get it. Love to hear that.
Yeah, because college is so expensive. And, I was like, even though I make decent money here, I won't be able to make enough money, to like help her like I want to. So that's what really pushed me with, Sally Tees and all of that.
Okay, that's good stuff. So, just in terms of you being the owner of Sally T, so when exactly did you make that transition out of the 9 to 5 world into full-time entrepreneurship?
It was in what March of March or I want to say May of 2019. Yeah, May of 2019. Yeah, because I opened like June of 29th. So I was gone from the Renaissance for like a whole month before. Yeah, because I needed time. So yeah, I would say May of 2019.
Oh wow. So you took a leap of faith for real, for real. You quit the job in May and then launched the business in June. Now that's real faith right there. A lot of us talk about having faith and whatnot, but you definitely have faith. That's dope.
Yeah, we prayed a lot about this. Like we prayed a lot. About this, we did, and it really like everything. And we came up against a lot of hurdles, like a lot, but it all worked out, even during COVID. So yes, very blessed.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Definitely worked out for you and hats off to you for taking that leap of faith. So when you got ready to leave the 9 to 5 and embark on this full-time entrepreneurship journey, did you tell any of your coworkers at the time what you were about to do?
I did. And that's why I was telling you at first that was it was like, oh, you cook? Because I was a server. I worked the bar. I ran the coffee shop. I served. I worked at the in-room dining.
Mhm.
I worked the pool bar. I did everything but work in the kitchen, cooking. So yeah, they was kind of shocked, but I used to take them some of my baked stuff. So some of them weren't. I mean, they were shocked, but a lot of them they were like, yeah, she really can. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. That's great. So with you being a restaurant owner now, and when you go and patronize other restaurants, so I'm curious to know what makes for a great dining experience for you.
Customer service. I don't even know what to say. Like seriously, I'm a '70s baby, so we growed up with a lot of respect. And nowadays, you can really tell when somebody when they do not want to be bothered with, whether
Mhm.
it's over the speaker, taking your order or you walking into the restaurant. So I try to stay upon myself about that very because without my customers there's no Sally tea. So I mean I know some customers are sometimes difficult. I mean, but for the most part, they just want what they want and that's good food. So if we can work around that and get them in and get them out with top-notch customer service, I mean, that's my ultimate goal here. But yeah, I can, when going to other places, like customer service is what I look for.
Yes, ma'am. I'm the exact same way. And when you say customer service, it's it's everything from speaking when I come in the door and making sure making sure the drink refills being refilled in a timely manner. Like I don't expect you to be over there every 5 minutes, but it shouldn't be
And
10, 15 minutes and like I'm basically drinking ice. I'm like, hold on now, where my serve at?
somebody's on the phone, like, and it's so allowed to, I mean, how do they have time to pay attention to,
Right,
serving? Like, we could not have our phones. Like, if we had our phone, we would be fired. I mean, we had them, but they could not be visible, period.
right, right.
But these now ring and every they answer
Yeah.
them. They on their Bluetooth. I mean, it's wild.
Yeah, it is. No, you hit the nail on the head right there because when I I did some serving for about 2 weeks at Ruby Tuesday, and that was the that was the rule too. You couldn't have your phone, but and this was back in 2008. I'm an 80s baby, so I'm right behind you. So just
Yeah, so
mhm.
yeah, you had the same upbringing I did. So yeah.
Yes, ma'am. So absolutely, you can have your phone, and it was just different, and it just took pride. And honestly, now I don't know if the younger generation takes pride in their work because I took pride in my work. I'm like, shoot, I'm incentivized to do a great job because if I make sure this customer's taken care of, the likelihood of me getting a good tip is pretty high. There's no guarantees. Sometimes you can do the best job possible and still get a dollar, but I took pride in that serving. And it sounds like you did the same thing when you were serving.
Yes, I made a lot of money. Like I did. I don't know if you ever remember the restaurant called Mimi's Cafe out in East Chase.
I do. That chicken pot pie, top tier.
Yeah. Top, listen, was ready for that restaurant then, but it's really ready for it now. Like that restaurant was so top tier. Like I opened and we closed that restaurant. I was like the last. They called me the last of the Mohicans there because I was the last server the original server that started from top, start to finish. But yeah. And what you said about the getting the tips. Now I notice that when you go to restaurants, it's automatically added. And I think by it being automatically added, like people don't care how they basically treat you because they were like, I'm gonna get my tip anyway. That's just how I feel,
Yes,
you
ma'am.
know.
Yes, ma'am. So they think. But see, I'm smart enough to look at that screen and hit skip if it ain't. Like, you right. They've gotten
Well,
slick with it now.
it's already added in with the total and everything. It could be just two people and you have a gratuity added to it.
Yeah. I got like that in Atlanta a few months ago and I couldn't believe it. It was just my wife and I thought gratuity was only on a party of
It's,
six or more.
yeah. Hmm.
But to your point, yeah, now that the tip is added in some instances, they feel like they can just mistreat you. And you know what? To be honest with you, Angela, in those situations where I get mistreated, I just don't go back. I mean, some people go on social media and blast places. I don't do that. I just don't. But some people really get on Facebook and IG and go ham on places when they get mistreated. But I just don't go back.
A bad, bad place for businesses and people don't care. They do not care what they say. They do not care what they do. It's really disheartening, like how they don't care anymore. Like they don't
Mhm.
have any respect. They just say whatever, do whatever. And behind that keyboard, they are on top of the world.
Right, right. And exactly. And
And
was saying that, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
oh no, I was just saying as a business owner, you have to watch what you say, what you do, how you respond, all that because as soon as you say something wrong, they will go back and pin your business on you. But, I've seen some people to kind of like
Right.
lose it whomever is speaking against their business. So, you know.
Right. Right. Absolutely. And that's another reason why I don't get caught up on social media reviews either, because there are some people who just they make a living out of bashing people, and unfortunately,
Well, now that's the it thing. That's what I was just talking about,
right, right, right.
thing. Like, I mean,
Right.
they gon- they want to say they don't care who you are,
Mhm.
which they gonna say it. Like, it's crazy.
Right,
But yeah,
exactly, exactly. And they'll sit up there and to your point, they'll sit up there and write stuff about you and whether it's true or untrue. And in some cases, it's untrue. That's why I don't get caught up on those type of reviews when people go on Facebook, IG, and they write these monologues about this experience that they experienced. And it's never a situation where they say, okay, well, I got a chance to at least ask speak to the manager and voice my issues. No, they just go right to the keyboard and they just start typing. But hats off to you for keeping your composure and not getting caught up in it, because I can only imagine how difficult it is to not want to shoot back when somebody's trying to tear you down.
I almost did one time. I'm really almost did because I'm like, what? I'm like, oh my, people don't understand that business owners are people too. We're human. Like, we have feelings. All of this. Sally Tees is besides my daughter. Sally Tees is my baby.
Mm.
This is my baby.
Right,
you know, this is all me. Like, these are all my recipes. This is all me.
right. Yes, ma'am. I definitely understand. So on a lighter note, Angela, you've done great things with the business, and I know you're going to continue to do great things, which leads to my next portion, vision. What are some of your short-term and long-term goals for the business you feel comfortable sharing?
Short. Um, I want to do some more expansion with Sally Tees. That's one of my short-term goals. One of my long-term goals with Sally Tees is to like really brand it. I went to this I don't even it's a little town right outside of Selma. I can't even think of what it's called and I can kick myself. But I got to meet this amazing lady. I can't even tell you the name of her restaurant. I'm gracious. But everything how she had it set up, it looked like a little Cracker Barrel. But everything branded with, the name of her company. I mean her restaurant. And I thought that was so cute, like so nice. And I was like, one day I want to do something like that with Sally T, where people be able to get shirts, cups, just all of that. I love stuff like that.
Okay, sounds good. Like those are great short-term and long-term goals, and I have no doubt you'll put in the work and make it happen.
Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am. As we wrap up the podcast, I want to ask the $1 million question. I started this podcast to highlight the greatness connected to the city of Montgomery. Whether you were born here or lived here for a significant period of your life, be it college, military, or work, you being a hometown hero, Angela, I want to ask you, what do you appreciate the most about the Gump?
The people. I mean, seriously, the people. I mean, we have some good people here. Like I've been other places and we have some really, really good people here. And if you network with the right ones, you get even better results. So yeah, I would definitely say the people.
Yes, ma'am. Powerful stuff. So how can people connect with you, Angela? What are your social media handles?
Well, on social media, I have a Sally Tees, and see that I'm not an internet guru yet. I'm not on Instagram. I mean, I am, but I'm not like active. I'm active really on Facebook. It's Sally Tees, Cafe and Cupcakes. And then I also have a personal page. But now that's one of my short-term goals too, is to get Instagram and all of that stuff going with Sally Tees. I forgot to tell you that.
Okay.
But yeah, that's basically all as far as social media that I have.
Okay, sounds good. And of course, I'll put that information in the description of the episode. Hey, Angela, thanks again for the conversation. I really appreciate you.
I appreciate it. This was my first one, and I really, really enjoyed it. I appreciate that. I appreciate you even asking me or even thinking about me.
Yes,
Or my,
ma'am.
thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right.
Good people, that concludes another dope episode of the Gumptown Podcast. In the meantime, in between time, y'all know what to do. Be blessed, be safe, but most importantly, have the audacity to be you. Go. Thanks again for tuning in. I appreciate your time and your attention. Until next time.